Alright y'all, welcome back. Josh here with Josh's Lawn and Landscape, and as you can tell, I'm in the shop once again. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Thank everybody who has subscribed to the channel. I think I noticed today I got another one, so I'm up to 520 already. So thank y'all for subscribing. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for taking the time to watch. And I mentioned in the last video the issue with the John Deere and what I believe was the tensioner pulley had maybe failed, or the bearing had gone out in it. So it turned out to be a little more extensive than that, and I'm going to go over that here in just a second. The pulley was actually going bad. You could spin the pulley and you could hear it kind of grinding in there, making a grinding noise like it was going to go out, and it had a little play in it. So let me turn this around and I'll go over everything that got replaced, including the tensioner spring. So here we go. As you can see, I got the deck off, and if you can tell, the idler pulley on this side and this side are also brand new. So all three of the belt pulleys, with the exception of the one on the clutch in the back. So the tensioner pulley, that's the idler pulley here, this idler pulley here, have all been replaced. So this one had a wobbling kind of, you could hear it like it had a wobble to it, like it had play on the inside. Wasn't really grinding, but again, it's almost 1,400 hours on it, so I went ahead and replaced it. This one here actually had some grinding noises in it, and when you took the belt off and spun it, you could see it doing a wobble. So that's why I decided to replace that one as well. But the issue ended up not completely being that this pulley had failed, but that the arm here, if you can tell, I don't know if you can see that, but see the play in the bushing in there. So you can tell, if you look at this side versus this side, this arm basically had some flop in it. So really the biggest issue was the arm. So that has also been replaced. There is a new tensioner arm, tensioner pulley, tensioner spring, and both idler pulleys. And as you know, earlier this year I replaced all three spindles, and last year all three deck pulleys. So basically everything on top of this deck is now new, less than 2 years old. So hopefully I get another 1,400 hours out of all this, but we'll see. Quick, some tools that I used: 1/2-inch pull handle, 13mm wrench. I use a ratchet and wrench. I'll tell you what this is for. An 18mm wrench, 3/8 drive ratchet with 18mm sockets. A couple of these, the shallow one is easier to get in on the bolt for it. And this is, sorry, that was the 12. This is the 13, so did not need the 12. So the pull handle is for putting it in the slot here on the tensioner arm. I believe it's right there, and that's to relieve the tension, to loosen the belt, to get the belt out of the way. So the 13mm ratchet is for this nut here, which is on the guide arm, and it slides up into a flat sided, it's flat on two sides, it's kind of elongated slot here, which is just the belt guide. So that's what the 13mm is for. All of these lock nuts here, here, and here are all 18mm. This has a hex head bolt going through the pulley, which is why you need the wrench and the ratchet. And the same thing for the arm. It has a hex head bolt coming up through the deck back there in the back, which is why you need the ratchet. This bolt and this bolt are both carriage bolts with the little square locking head on it. So there's a square slot in the deck where this comes through, and once you get the tension on it, it holds it in place with that square slot on the bolt. Same thing here on this one. This is a carriage bolt, and so that is, again, I actually got some assistance from my father-in-law simply to basically undo these while I went up underneath and held the carriage bolt in place. You could probably loosen it, and if you could get, say, a small pry bar or something underneath the bolt just to hold upward pressure on it to keep the bolt in the slot, you could probably take it out by yourself. But if you got somebody that can help you for just a couple of minutes, I think it would just make it a lot easier. So they've all been put back on. I saved the spacers from this. As long as they're in good shape, there's a spacer. This here slides down into the bearing. There's one here, and there's one on the bottom side. These are about $35 to $40 a piece. So they're good. Keep them, reuse them if you can. I bought this one. It came with the spacer on the bottom, and the washer here on top is still good. And there is a flared washer. You can't really see it. It sits right there. You can kind of see the edge of it. That sits under that arm, and so make sure you keep an eye on that and don't lose it. Kind of hard to, but that is everything. Oh, since you can see it, shout out Mr. Gerald Greenlee, Clean and Green Lawn Service. If you haven't watched his channel yet, give him a look. And so new idler pulleys, new tensioner pulley and spring, and new tensioner arm. So once again, this machine has 1,300, almost 1,371 hours on it. So, and all of this that was replaced was original equipment that was on it when I bought it. So not bad. If a couple $100 lasts me another 1,200 plus hours along with the rest of the machine, then you're not going to get any big complaints out of me. So hope this was helpful. Again, 18 millimeter nut on the tensioner arm, tensioner pulley, and both of these idler pulleys here and here, as well as the 13 millimeter, again 13 millimeter bolt or nut on top of this guide arm here for the belt guide. And like I said, it may help to get somebody to help you just for 5 or 10 minutes. If you've got everything there, you can probably, excuse me, adjusting my camera here, you can probably do this in, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes if you've got all your parts here. Not a big task, just a couple of tools. And I think it's easier, just as easy to do it with all the hand tools as to try to drag out air hoses or track down batteries and stuff. It's easier to get into some of these places. Even with the deck down, there's still kind of a snug area in a couple places, but hopefully somebody will find this helpful. Hopefully this is going to last me a good little while, and Uncle John's back up and running. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. Let me know what y'all think, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button down at the bottom. Leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and comment on any issues similar to this that y'all may have had this year or recent years, or if it's something that I know somebody commented the other day on the original video that I posted about having this issue that I was going to have to fix, that they had a pulley that was starting to make some noise that they were just trying to get to the end of the year. So I know we've probably all tried to do that before. So sometimes you got to try to limp across that finish line. But Uncle John, I said, back up and running. Thank y'all for taking the time to watch. And you can see from the picture at the beginning of the video that where I had everything kind of taken off the deck. I'll try to put that in at the front, so hopefully you can see where I had everything kind of disassembled. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna try to wrap this one up before I get to just kind of rambling on. And thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all to everybody who has subscribed. Y'all be safe, be kind, be blessed, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.